Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Real quick video today to discuss files. I found in my basement this made in USA Nicholson file. It actually feels sharp. I'm going to say this thing ended up getting lost in my basement. It's got some surface rust, nothing bad on it at all. It's fairly sharp, but my guess is it can get a little bit better. I read a few places where using distilled white vinegar, one, I'm sure it will take the rust off. I've already done the evaporust video. I'm sure this vinegar will do the same thing as the evaporust, but I've also heard that the vinegar is good for refreshing a file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this thing into the white vinegar. Needs a safety seal, but I guess it does. Alright, smells wonderful. So, into the vinegar it goes. This is a perfect size little utensil. So I want to give that time. We'll come back when it's had some time. We'll see what it does to the rust and we'll see how it cuts. Alright everybody, it's the next morning. So these files have been floating around in the vinegar now for the better part of 15 hours, which I honestly don't know if that's enough, too much, or what. So I'll do a little scrubbing. Well, it definitely seems to have gotten some of the rust off. Let me go this side. You know, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute. I'm going to turn this camera on so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, sorry for the little delay. Now I got both cameras coming, so we'll be switching back and forth so you can see what I'm doing. Just kind of going with the grain of the file here to try to get the gunk out. Like I said, this was a fairly new file. And remember, this part here wasn't in the vinegar. It stopped right about there, but that's why a brush is kind of getting a little bit of rust that wasn't in there off anyway. This is definitely a Nicholson made in USA file, so given that it's been in the basement for a while, it's probably a good one. That looks really good. I don't know if you can see that there, but right in there, that looks very good. I'm happy with that. Off camera, I threw a few more in, including this rasp that we talked about yesterday. Yeah, as far as sharpening, I don't feel any difference on this rasp. I just don't know if that rasp is any good, to be honest with you. Let's pull the rest of the stuff I put in here out. This first one was, I mean, it's a Harbor Freight file, so it's what it is. Obviously the little label that was on it didn't make it, which is fine. I did not put the rubber handle in the vinegar. I didn't know what it would do to it. I just assumed it would beat it up, but you can see here there were some rust spots there that are just black marks now. The rust is definitely gone. And this file has just been hanging on the wall in my basement for, I don't know, 5 years now, with very limited use. I don't use filed a lot. And what they had gotten on them was just some surface rough spots that you can see the little remnants of one right there. And it looks like the vinegar did fine on that. The file looks good now. Let's do our little test here again. I think I've thrown this guy away about 10 times now, and he keeps coming out to be a sample subject for something. It's working fine for what it is. Here's the big Nicholson. Let's see what he does. Yeah, I mean that rounds over nice. This is now cutting like a new file. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I'm going to give this thing a little credit here. This is working better than it did before I put it in the vinegar. So I think in the case of this big Nicholson, I think it's cutting the same because I think this was damn near a brand new file. So it took the rust off, which it was supposed to. This little file here is cutting better than it did before. It literally was a piece of crap before. It's not much of a file now, but you know, it worked. It's working better now. This guy is working. I don't think we did much to change him. He's a very fine file for one thing, and two, he hadn't had much use. He's been hanging on the wall, so we really did get the rust off of it, but nothing else. I don't know that we did much to this. Yeah, this rasp still's not cutting. This is just, it's just shot. I mean, we'll just put it mildly. It's a very coarse, you know, I got it at a tag sale somewhere for 50 cents or something. I mean, this is so coarse, it might even have been like a Farrier's rasp or something. And you know, it is what it is. It didn't fare very well, but the other ones I think did, so I think it's kind of a success. I like Evaporust better for removing rust, but a gallon of Evaporust is 20 bucks. A gallon of vinegar is $3.99, $4. Actually, it might have been $2.99. So, you know, literally it's much cheaper and it seems to work for rust. So it might be a better alternative than the Evaporust. I will caution you, you know, I don't know, I've said a few times, I live alone here, which is why I can have a wood shop in my guest room in my house and leave vinegar out overnight stinking up the house. It smells. So something to think about, you married guys and gals that have significant others that may not want to deal with the stink. You know, if you have an outdoor shed or something, do it out there. But other than that, it seems to work good. So that's all for this one. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good day.